quite a while.
Hello and welcome to NewsX World. I'm Sima Katauka and you're watching Hollywood Calling. From celebrity scoops to film and music buzz, here's your quick look at what's making headlines in entertainment this week. The BAFTA Film Awards in London saw one battle after another dominate, winning 6 awards including Best Film and Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson. Hamnet took Best British Film and Leading Actress for Jessie Buckley. Taylor Swift has tied with Rihanna for the 3rd most #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 with her latest single, Opalite, marking her 14th chart-topping song. This milestone makes her behind only the Beatles and Mariah Carey. Shakira is set to perform in India for the first time in 19 years, with concerts in Mumbai on April 10th and Delhi on April 15th. The shows aim to raise awareness for child nutrition through the Feeding India concert. Lily Collins has been casted as Audrey Hepburn in a new film about the making of Breakfast at Tiffany's, based on Sam Brasson's book. The film will explore behind-the-scenes drama and production challenges. Dark comedy, one battle after another, dominated the BAFTA Film Awards in London, winning 6 awards including Best Film, Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay for Paul Thomas Anderson. Robert Aramayo landed a surprise leading actor win, while Jessie Buckley took leading actress for Hamnet, which also won Best British Film. Sinners won Best Original Screenplay for Ryan Coogler and Best Supporting Actress for Wunmi Mosaku. Sentimental Value won Best Film Not in the English Language. My Father's Shadow took Outstanding Debut, and Indian film Bong won Best Children's and Family Film for director Lakshmi Priya Devi. Tourette syndrome activist John Davidson has broken his silence following the controversy at the 2026 BAFTA Film Awards. During the ceremony, his involuntary tics, including a racial slur, were heard while actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting an award. John, who is the executive producer of the BAFTA-nominated film I Swear, expressed deep distress and clarified that his condition causes uncontrollable outbursts. He has apologized to those affected, including both Jordan and Lindo, and emphasized that his tics have nothing to do with his beliefs. BAFTA and the BBC also issued apologies, with BAFTA explaining that the slur was shouted involuntarily due to John's Tourette syndrome. Davidson also criticized the BBC for not being better prepared for his presence and stressed the importance of raising awareness about the condition. In a historic win for Indian cinema, Bong, a Manipur language debut film, has won the Best Children and Family Film Award at the 2026 BAFTA Film Awards. Directed by Lakshmi Priya Devi, the film tells the heartfelt story of a young boy's journey to reunite his missing father, believing it would be the perfect gift for his mother. Producer Farhan Akhtar, who has known Devi for nearly 2 decades, expressed pride in supporting this special project. Bong is the first Indian film to win this category, beating out international titles like Zootopia 2 and Lilo and Stitch. The film also premiered at the 2024 Toronto International Film Festival. Taylor Swift has made history once again, tying with Rihanna for the 3rd most #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. Her latest single, Opalite, has reached the top spot, marking her 14th chart-topping song. This achievement places her behind only the Beatles with 20 and Mariah Carey with 19 number one hits. Opalite, featured on Swift's latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, was inspired by her relationship with soon-to-be husband Travis Kelce. In an interview, Swift explained that the song reflects on growth and perspective, encouraging listeners to forgive themselves for things that did not work out. This is Swift's second number one from The Life of a Showgirl, following the fate of Ophelia, which held the top spot for an impressive 10 weeks. Now for this, we welcome Ms. Raina Ruffin, also known as Head Crack Entertainment Correspondent. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, time for the third most number one hits on the Billboard Hot 100 places Taylor Swift and Rihanna among the most successful artists in history. What does this milestone say about them?
I would say that this milestone shows that their music connects and resonates with people all over the world. You know, it's one thing to make music that resonates for you and in your city that you come from, but to have that type of impact around the world speaks volumes on the relatability of the music that they're making, and also the fact that they're like really good songs and really creative artists that keep pushing the genre.
And with 14 number one hits, Taylor Swift joins the ranks of music icons like Beatles and Mariah Carey. How does her achievement reflect her impact on the music world compared to other chart-topping artists?
I think with Taylor Swift being kind of like a solo machine, right? It shows, like, one, the power and creativity of women. It also shows that music is more easily accessible than ever before, because when you think about the fact that, you know, back in the days when the Beatles and Mariah Carey were, like, you know, topping the charts like that, you had to physically go buy it. But now that, you know, anyone with a smartphone can stream a song and, you know, get it up the charts this way, it shows that people are really tapping in and that they really like the frequency of music that Taylor Swift is releasing. She's not just releasing songs, she's releasing moments. She's creating eras. And I think her marketing approach is one of those things that keeps her ahead of the...
And Opalite stands out due to its deeply personal lyrics about self-forgiveness and growth, reflecting a mature evolution in Taylor Swift's songwriting. What sets Opalite apart from her previous chart-topping hits in terms of theme and style?
I think because it's a little bit, I don't know, even more personal than ever before. And, you know, we are voyeurs by nature. I think people far and large like to be all the way dialed in to these artists' life and the things that they're dealing with. And I think, you know, with each layer, it's like an onion peeling a layer back, you know what I mean? And Opalite just kind of continues that tradition. And I think a lot of people are in a space where they're trying to grow and learn how to forgive themselves. So I think it works so well because so many people, you know, can connect with that feeling and that emotion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ruffin, for sharing that. Please do stay with us. Now, moving on, Billie Eilish is making waves on the charts again, with two of her past albums making a comeback. Her Grammy-winning track, Wildflower, continues to fuel interest in her previous full-length, Happier Than Ever, and When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Happier Than Ever has rebounded on both the official physical albums and album sale charts, coming in at number 80 and 86, respectively, after a brief slump. Her debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Has also re-entered the physical album chart at number 97, while Eilish's latest album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, is still facing a slight downswing. It's clear that Billie Eilish remains a global force in music. These rebounds show her lasting impact in the industry and the continued demand for her work. Now we welcome back Mr. Raina Ruffin, also known as Head Crack Entertainment Correspondent. Thank you very much, Mr. Head Crack, for staying with us. Now, Billie Eilish has had a major impact on the music industry with her unique sound and style. After her recent Grammy win for Wildflower, her past albums Happier Than Ever and When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go have surged back onto the charts. What do you think the resurgence of these albums says about Billie's lasting influence in the music world?
You know, I would say with Billie Eilish, man, she has that effect that, like, you know, when you see artists perform at the Super Bowl, all of a sudden you see a certain surge in their streams. And the same thing happened with Billie at the Grammys. When you see her perform, you remember how fun she is as an artist and how fun those songs make you feel. So it makes people go down that memory lane trip and be like, oh, you know what? I haven't listened to I'm a Bad Guy in a while, or I haven't listened to When We All Fall Asleep, or, you know, Where Do We Go in a long time. And it makes you want to, like, go on that nostalgia journey. And even though, like, those are older projects, it still feels current, even though they're a few years old. So I think, you know, the Billie Eilish fans are in it for the long haul, and they'll be talking about her the same way they talk about Taylor Swift when it's all said and done. I know it's a little too early to call it, but, you know, I think she's off to a great start.
Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever has re-entered the charts at impressive positions. Given its recent dip and the subsequent rebound, what does this suggest about the long-term viability of her albums in an era where trends change quickly in the music industry?
I think it speaks volumes to the fact that people are really engaged with her content, right? Even though it may have taken a dip, that Grammy performance really reminded people that, oh yeah, we do like this girl. And I think it speaks really strongly about our long-term viability. She's gonna be here. Like, she's proved that she is not a fluke sonically, and that she's also one of the best live performers. I had the opportunity to see her live, and I don't really go see a lot of pop acts, but I will say Billie Eilish had one of the better shows that I've seen in a long time. So I think she's attacking it from all corners. Great music, great videos and visuals, great live show, and I think that creates the perfect triangle that keeps people, like, you know, locked in and engaged.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ruffin, for sharing that insight with us on Hollywood Calling. Now, moving on, global pop sensation Shakira is set to perform in India after 19 years. The Colombian superstar will take the stage in Mumbai on April 10th and Delhi on April 15th, marking her first ever concerts in these two cities. This will be Shakira's first performance in India since 2007 during her Oral Fixation tour. In an exciting announcement, Shakira has expressed her enthusiasm, saying the concerts would be about more than music, aiming to support the cause of child nutrition through the Feeding India concerts. With over 3 decades in the music industry, Shakira remains one of the best-selling artists of all time. Now we welcome back Mr. Raynil Ruffin, also known as Head Crack Entertainment. He's an entertainment correspondent. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, Shakira's return to India after nearly 2 decades marks a historic moment for her and her devoted fans. How did this milestone reflect her lasting influence in the global music scene, and what does it mean for the fans who have eagerly awaited her return?
They say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and 2 decades is a long time for an artist to be off the scene, especially, you know, to a country that, you know, like, really enjoyed their work. So I think this is great, especially, like, showing that, you know, people in other countries still want to hear her, and especially India. So I think, you know, like, fans that were there from the very beginning are going to show up. And then maybe even, like, the fans who are maybe just now becoming aware of her because of her appearance in Zootopia 1 and 2, you know, who weren't there for, like, the Hips Don't Lie era, but they're here because they know her from the, you know, those movies. So it's going to be interesting. I think she has the opportunity now to, like, bridge 2 eras of fans at one time when she makes a triumphant return to India. So I'm excited.
Now, Shakira's upcoming concerts in Mumbai and Delhi promise to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for her Indian fans. What unique elements can we expect from these performances, considering they will be her debut shows in these cities, and how will she cater to the Indian audience's expectations?
You know, it's going to be interesting because one thing I know about India is they go hard when it comes to like big productions and just choreography and just making it work. And Shakira has been doing that her entire career as well. To see how we integrate that whole Latin energy with India's energy is going to be interesting, especially if she customizes her set specifically to that, you know, that audience. And I think we're going to see something special and unique. I don't think it's going to be like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Same thing we did in Brazil is what we're going to do over here. Now I think, you know, I think India is going to get something special and unique, especially after being gone for so long. She wants to definitely leave an impression that'll last another 20 years.
Thank you very much, Mr. Headcrack, for sharing that insight with us. Now we are also being joined by our guest, Mr. Atharva Bhatt. He's a musician, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Mr. Bhatt, for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, Shakira has also always been known for her philanthropic efforts. How do you think her involvement in the Feeding India concert will have an impact?
All right, thank you so much for having me. To answer your first question, I think it's going to have a great impact on putting out a good word for the cause, because a global icon like Shakira bringing herself into the Feeding India concert brings a lot of attention to the new users and to people who are new into philanthropy. And it will also create a high level of buzz, since philanthropy is something that is not so much discussed in terms of Indian concerts and the scale of India. So a lot of youngsters will be willing to participate in philanthropy. So it's a good cause, and I'm glad that Shakira is going to be a part of this. So very excited and very, very, very happy to see that happen.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for highlighting that, Mr. Bhatt. After years of anticipation, Shakira is returning to India. What do you think this comeback means for her fans, and what can we expect from her live performances this time around?
I mean, the nostalgia is really intense. I can presume that Shakira has not been back in India since the last 19 years, but safe to say that what we can expect is a visually stunning spectacle, to say the least. And to think about it, Indian concerts have always been evolving around the kind of caliber of performance that not only global artists but also our homegrown artists have been doing at multiple stages. So to see that merger happen with a global icon at an Indian stage, I expect nothing short of a visually rich sort of spectacle at the Feeding India concert.
Thank you for sharing that, and Mr. Atharva Bhatt. Given Shakira's success with chart-topping hits like Hips Don't Lie and Waka Waka, how do you think her music will resonate with the Indian local audience at this event?
I mean, it's going to resonate really well. I myself also am an avid fan of Shakira. I've been listening to Waka Waka and Hips Don't Lie, I mean, as many times as I can think of. And since that sort of music is, in our DNA, it's rhythmic.
Yes.
People will be involved in dancing and participating in that sort of music. So, and since Indian listeners also have a very high diaspora when it comes to listening to global chart busters, for example, Michael Jackson and Shakira and Enrique Iglesias, even John Mayer, who recently performed at Mumbai, I think it's safe to say that a lot of Indian listeners would be super excited, and that music is already resonating across decades. So it's going to be a good deal, and I'm super excited to be, listen to all this.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Atharva Bhatt, for sharing that insight with us on Hollywood Calling. Now we move on. Lily Collins, star of Emily in Paris, has been cast to play Audrey Hepburn in an upcoming film about the making of Breakfast at Tiffany's. The film will be based on Sam Basson's non-fiction book, Fifth Avenue, 5 a.m. Audrey Hepburn, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and the Dawn of Modern Women. Collins, who expressed her excitement on Instagram, will portray the iconic actress in a project that has been in development for nearly a decade. The film will explore the behind-the-scenes of drama of the 1961 film, from pre-production to on-set challenges. Breakfast at Tiffany's was a loose adaptation of Truman Capote's novella, originally starring Hepburn as Holly Golightly. The movie, which won 2 Academy Awards, was a global success. Now we welcome back Mr. Raynel Ruffin, also known as Head Crack, entertainment correspondent. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, Lily Collins has been cast as Audrey Hepburn in the upcoming film about making of the Breakfast at Tiffany's. What do you have to say about this?
Yo, it's gonna be interesting because, Breakfast at Tiffany's came out in 1960s, and I know there's been some attempts to remake the movie and things like that, but to see a movie about the making of a movie, that's always such a dope meta approach to do things. And Lily Collins definitely has the Audrey Hepburn look, and I definitely think she has the acting chops to pull it off, because there's some actresses who'll just throw the glasses on and just, just go into it and just try to power through it. But I think she does have the acting chops. But can she capture that quiet gravity that Audrey Hepburn has? The verdict's still out on that, but we can't wait to see it. And then also the behind-the-scenes drama that, surrounded that movie. Capote wanting Marilyn to play the part. Moon River almost getting cut. And even how messy Hollywood was back in that time. It'll be interesting to see all this stuff brought to light in the behind the scenes of it all. So I definitely think this is going to create a resurgence in the original movie as well too. So it's going to be interesting, man. But we don't want to see cosplay. We want to see context. Show us the full picture.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Now we move on. The first full trailer for the highly anticipated Peaky Blinders film, The Immortal Man, has just dropped on Netflix. Set during World War II, the film sees Cillian Murphy reprise his role as gang leader Tommy Shelby, returning to Birmingham to face his past demons. New cast members include Rebecca Ferguson, Tim Roth, and Barry Keoghan, with Keoghan playing Tommy's son, Duke, who's caught in a dangerous web involving British fascists and potential treason. The trailer hints at intense family drama as Tommy struggles with his legacy while Duke may be turning against him. We also hear a haunting track from Ryan Chatton of Fontaines DC on the film's soundtrack. The Immortal Man hits select cinemas on March 6th before streaming on Netflix from March 20th. Actor Robert Carradine, best known for his role in the Nerds movie franchise, has passed away at the age of 71. His family confirmed the news, revealing he had struggled with bipolar disorder for nearly 2 decades. In a heartfelt statement, they remembered Carradine as a beacon of light to those around him and urged for greater awareness of mental health. Carradine, the youngest of a famous Hollywood family, began his career in the early 70s, appearing in Bonanza and The Cowboys. He will be remembered for both his film work and his battle with mental illness. Now moving on, Jennifer Lopez is celebrating a major milestone as her twins, Max and Em, turn 18. On Instagram, the 56-year-old singer shared a heartfelt tribute, reflecting on their birth during a snowstorm and how her life changed forever when they were born. Lopez has expressed how proud she is of her kind-hearted children, calling them angels sent straight from heaven. The tribute included a touching video with throwback moments showing Lopez holding her babies and sharing sweet moments with them through the years. Lopez ended the post with a loving message, saying, "Always remember, Lulu, you are my sunshine. Max, you're amazing just the way you are." That's a wrap on Hollywood Calling for this week. Your dose of stars, style, and stories returns soon.